Hi, thank you for joining in today. This is Peter. As always, I'm excited for the opportunity to connect with you. And today I want to talk about how to become a UN volunteer. It's something which I tried and it worked for me at least. And I want to encourage you to, if you're still starting out and you have dreams of working for the United Nations, I think one of the ways might be to consider volunteering. I know there are many people who have been applying for opportunities with the UN. They've applied for so many positions and they've never gotten any feedback. Sometimes the reason is that we're competing with more qualified people. We're competing with so many other hundreds of thousands of people from other countries across the world. And so our chances are limited, but don't give up. But while waiting to get a full-time position, you might also want to consider volunteering with the United Nations. And just a disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by the United Nations to do this video. I'm just doing it from a place of wanting to help young people who are looking for opportunities, and especially those who are dreaming to one day work for the United Nations. That was my dream, to work for the UN when I was growing up. I'm not working for the UN at this moment, but yeah, this UN volunteer is a really great way to maybe come into become part of the United Nations, at least maybe for a temporary basis. And you don't know where that might take you if you go in as a volunteer and work really hard and demonstrate your skills and talents and experiences in this way. So uh, there is, if you just Google UN volunteers, you would come across an elaborate website where you need to create your profile. So I'm showing you how to become a UN volunteer. So you just need to create your profile. There are opportunities. You would see already when you go into that website that there would be positions that are already posted there that you can directly apply. But the easiest way is just to go in there, create a really good profile, and leave it there, and just keep updating. And when you might get a call someday, but when you go into the website, first you want to just read around and find out what the UN is doing, and try to tailor your own profile to maybe suit the strategic direction of of the United Nations. Most of you know about the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. So so most of the work that the United Nations is doing is really around the Sustainable Development Goals. But when it comes to volunteering, what I've seen is that the focus is more on peace building and development. So this is a really great way to understand the direction of the UN when it comes to getting recruiting volunteers. And so when you go into UN Volunteers website, you just need to start, create your profile. You need to show your experiences and really make sure that you can tailor the experiences to match some of the advertised positions, and at least show them that you are the right fit for the position, the volunteer positions that are advertised on that website. And so you need to show them your level of education. You need to above all show them your level of qualification. Show them your experience, what you've done in the past. Okay, you need to highlight the things that you've achieved. You need to show what you've done when it comes to development, to peace building, and show what you can do if you're given the opportunity. So there are already areas which are highlighted, which you just need to go in and fill. So you need to create your password. You need to create your username and password, and you should be able to sign in. And then you spend at least maybe 2-3 hours filling the questionnaire, the questions that are given, that at the end will generate a profile for you and have a good picture maybe to put in there as well. So there will be questions there. Answer them to the best of your ability and the best of your knowledge. Make sure that it's in good English and that it is well polished. You can have someone edit that for you. And so yeah, there are opportunities you could indicate while putting up your profile, whether you want to be considered for opportunities in your country or regionally or across the continent or in other countries. So there are opportunities that come up every day. And yeah, just create a profile. You have nothing to lose. When I created a profile with the UN volunteers in 2017, I told myself I had nothing to lose. And just recently, I got a call from them. They were offering me an opportunity. Of course, I couldn't take that because I'm doing other things right now. So I want to encourage you to just do it. At least do it because I'm letting you know that it's going to work. When I created my profile, I didn't even give a lot of attention to it to make sure that it's the best profile possible. I didn't even think that I was competing against many other people. Maybe that's why it took about 3 years for me to get a call to be deployed to one of the African countries. But I want you to know that when you create a profile, you are going to be competing against so many people, against so many young and talented people. And so you want to put up a very great profile. You want to make sure that it is attractive. It's something that tells someone to read, or it's something that tells the recruiter that there is something about you that is different in the way you have marketed yourself. So it's really about how you want to market yourself. But make sure you're not just hyping yourself or attributing to yourself certain skills and experiences that you don't have. So you want to be genuine, but you also want to really effectively communicate the things that you have done in the past and the things that you are able to do in that profile. And make sure, like you would do with your curriculum vitae, your CV or your resume or cover letter, make sure that you're going back into this website to continue to polish your profile. You're continuing to update and upgrade as things are changing, and then you keep working hard. So these are the things that are going to open doors for you. If you've been applying for so long and you're not getting any feedback, then it's time to also consider volunteering for organizations like the United Nations. And it's a really great way to become part of that organization. And you could become a volunteer for somewhere between from 6 months to 4 years in certain cases. So there is a possibility. And so when you're deployed, there is good money as well. They're going to pay you some, they're going to pay you money that would enable you to at least settle. It's not, you're not doing it for the money, but for the impact that you will create in terms of peace building and development in other countries, or even in your country. Even in Cameroon, for instance, they might be needing volunteers with all of the crisis going on for such a long time right now, with the humanitarian situation and the great need that is continuing to build, to increase every day. We realize that more and more people are needing humanitarian assistance in Africa, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, in Central African Republic, in Libya, in many other countries. There is a great need, humanitarian need, and so they need young people who are energetic, talented, and who are passionate and enthusiastic to step in and be able to help in these situations. So at least they will pay you a resettlement allowance, something like that, that will enable you to resettle. Maybe you're moving with your family, you're moving with your children. They might be able to cover that. They cover your housing cost and transportation, and they're going to cover many other expenses. And give you at least a monthly allowance for this purpose. So this is something to consider. It's going to give you great international experience. It's going to open your mind up, and it's going to give you a great experience to build up on and to begin to understand what it is you can do. And maybe you might find out that the UN is a right fit for you, and you might want to settle in there. And if you're applying for full-time positions with already experience as a volunteer with the United Nations, then they will definitely consider you above other people who've never worked for the UN in any way. So you'll be prioritized in a sense that you have experience working with them and of sacrificing working for very little compared to what full-time positions offer. So this is a great way to demonstrate to them that you are enthusiastic, you are interested, and that you are committed. All right, so get on there and start building your profile with UN volunteers today. Like I said, it's really a great way, absolutely a great way to get into the United Nations and to work with great people there. I know many people grow up dreaming to work with the UN, and now there are thoughts. People feel like, oh, it's so corrupt out there. But I still have a feeling that, you know, your competencies, your experience, your giftedness, your talent, your skills can set you apart, even if there is corruption or even if there is favoritism or whatever. Still remember that there is a degree of fairness that is involved with recruiting these volunteers. So you could become a UN volunteer also online. This is a great way to volunteer. I think far back in 2015, I volunteered with the UN as an online editor for a couple of months, and I did some work. I wasn't paid for that, but it gave me so much experience. So it's those are such some of the experiences that I've built up on to become who I am today. And I'm telling you, you can do it. You can volunteer with the UN online as well. If you don't get um, the deployment positions, you can also volunteer online. So you also need to sign up and create a profile for UN volunteers online. Yeah, there are so many things we could talk about this. Go into UN volunteer website and start building your profile today. And there is so much more to discover when you're in that website. Just read around, see how you can become a national volunteer. You can become a volunteer even in other countries. What are the requirements for you? You definitely need a university, maybe a diploma or technical diploma, university degree. A master's degree, for that matter, is going to set you apart greatly. But you need some form of education. You may need to be maybe of a certain age limit, 22 years. You need to have a minimum of 2 years of work experience. So if you've been doing some community engagement, and volunteerism in your community, that also count as experience. So you need to have good working knowledge in at least one of the three UN working languages: English, French, and Spanish. You need to have good working knowledge in one or more of local languages. So if you can speak a local language, like if you can speak Arabic, definitely you might be a very great fit to go to a country like Libya. You may not be working from Libya. You might be deployed to Libya and be working from Tunisia, for instance, and live in a place like Tunis. It's a great opportunity. You need to demonstrate a strong commitment to the values and principles of volunteerism. If you volunteered in the past, definitely that you should showcase that in your profile as well. So you need to show respect for diversity and the willingness to work in a multicultural environment. You can work with other people irrespective of their beliefs, irrespective of their viewpoints, and respect those viewpoints as well as those people going to respect your viewpoints. And you have to show the ability to adjust to changing and at times difficult living and working conditions. So yeah, there is just so much that you can find out about the UN volunteers online. The recruitment process, how it works is that where demand for recruitment of national UN volunteers or even the international ones is high, the UN volunteers, the program will generally establish a local roster of candidates for national volunteers as well as a roster for international volunteers and assignments. So they have this roster. In addition, special outreach activities will be undertaken to identify suitable candidates for a volunteer assignment. And in all cases, candidates must undergo a competitive interview process to ensure transparency of the system. Like I said, there is a degree of transparency. Yeah, and once that is done, it would take between 2 to 4 weeks from the time you receive a letter of offer for deployment or a letter of volunteer position. It could take 2 to 4 weeks for you to deploy, to be in the station or in the mission field where you need to start working. So definitely, I don't want to go on and on, but go in there and read around. There is an option there which is frequently asked questions about the UN volunteer program. Read about this, and this might be something you want to do. This might be something that will, take you out from your position where you're currently now unemployed or looking for a better opportunity, and take you closer to learning your dream job. And why not with the United Nations? Thank you for watching. Go create your profile and keep applying for those positions while you've created your profile, and thank me later. Thank you for watching. And if you found this helpful, you can share this with some other people and encourage them to apply as well. Have a nice day. God bless you.